Hi everybody, Bearded Rogue here, continuing the Tony Unboxes in Oregon, Unpacks in Oregon series of videos. We're going to do box 17 now, and this has some pretty good games in it, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I have here is TAC. TAC is an abstract game that is based on a game that exists in the novels of Patrick Rothfuss. The new physical version that exists in reality was designed by James Ernst. It's an abstract game similar to chess, checkers, backgammon, all of those sort of things. It has that kind of a timeless vibe to it, but it's a very new, recent design. It's a grid of squares, or you can play on the corners of squares like Go. If you wish, the point of the game is to try to create a road from one side to the opposite side of the grid. It doesn't have to be a straight line, just has to be a line called a road in the game. And then you can build walls, which are this standing stone here, or use your capstones to block your opponent and move things off. You can create stacks of stones by capturing other players' pieces, and then expand that stack to cover a lot of board area at one time. It's a very, very neat abstract game. It's really fun. There's a lot of depth and strategy to it. I am not a very good TAC player. Much like chess, I love to dabble, I love to play, but I'm not ever going to be a competitive player of this game. Either way, TAC is a great game. Next, something a little bit lighter, and that's Disc Duelers from Level 99. Disc Duelers is a dexterity game. It is a flicking game. You have discs. Like Level 99, all of the discs correspond to characters from their Indians universe, and all of them have special abilities. You can flick your disc to move it, you can flick your disc to attack. Depending on what you choose, different things will happen to the disc. If you choose to attack and you hit another person, you do damage. If you choose to attack and you hit an obstacle, you take damage. If you're choosing to move and you hit an obstacle, no big deal. If you're choosing to move and you hit another person, you take damage. And then all the characters have abilities that are neat. Some of them can let you put your hand on the table as an additional obstacle. Some of them will let you flick a couple of times as a movement instead of just flicking once. Etc., etc. There's multiple ways to play. You can play like a game of volleyball or air hockey type play where you're scoring goals. You can play just a straight out brawl. You can play in teams, etc., etc. Very versatile gaming system. Not nearly as popular as I feel it should be. I think this is a really, really good game that kind of flew under everyone's radar. And I'm not usually a Dex game guy, but this is a good one. I recommend it. Disc Duelers. Next, this is a game that when I first got into the hobby was kind of in its, I won't say sunset years, but was kind of wrapping up. Like, the original game itself was really hard to find. However, the expansions for it were still coming out, and I was really intrigued, but I couldn't get a hold of it. Eventually, it was re-released with everything in one box, all the expansions and everything, and that's the version that I purchased, and that's Blue Moon Legends. This is Blue Moon, the card game. Blue Moon is a head-to-head card game that is very, I don't know how to describe it. It's a Reiner Knizia game, and it's very head-to-head, very combo chain oriented. Like, it's much more mathy than it is like special ability text. It plays pretty quickly. It plays pretty decisively. It's, best 2 out of 3 kind of thing. You're trying to win these dragons from the center over to your side of the board, and if you can get 2 of them, you win. There are different factions in it that all specialize in slightly different stats. Like I said, it's a fairly mathy game, but the only difference between this version and the original version is the original version, everything was on these absolutely gorgeous looking tarot cards. And this version of the game, where they've re-released it, all of them are on more standard size playing cards instead of gigantic tarot cards. That's really the only downside to this game versus the original version of it. This version has all of it, like all the contents of the game inside of it. No need to look up any additional expansions or track anything down that's hard to find. It's all in here. It's just regular playing card size. But I'm glad that I finally was able to get it. I really like it. And it's cool to be able to actually have all of it in one box. And that's Blue Moon Legends. Next, game I've already talked about, and I mentioned that I had a second copy. This is the version spelled with C's. So I had Rococo with a K earlier. This is the Eagle Griffin, or Eagle Games, I think it's just Eagle Games, version of Rococo. A different printing, but same game. Previous one was Rococo with K's. This is Rococo with C's. This is the North American market. The games are identical. They're functionally identical. I just happen to have two of them. I may at some point do a contest or a giveaway or something with the extra copy of Rococo that I have, because this is one of the best games on the planet as far as I'm concerned. You can see a previous video where I unpacked my other copy to hear more of my thoughts about it, but this is a great game, and everybody should play this. If you like Euro-style games at all, this is a mishmash of all of the, like, greatest hits of mechanisms. It's got a little deck building, it's got a little resource management, hand management, set collection, area control, it's a little bit of everything, and it is phenomenal. I love it to death. It's a great game, and that's my second copy of it. Last thing in this box, we actually have a box that had fewer games, and once you see this next one, you'll understand why there were so few games in it, and that's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Works. This box is huge. When it was originally put on Kickstarter, it was a pizza box size, as you can see. Now this, if you made a Chicago deep dish pizza that was this deep, people would consider you insane. It's chock full of all sorts of amazing miniatures and scenarios and stuff like that. It's a Kevin Wilson game. I've mentioned Kevin Wilson before a couple times, as you probably remember, behind Android. One of the other games he's very famous for designing, which I do not own, is Descent. This game is another dungeon crawl-esque dudes on a map grid type game like Descent. He knows how to do those very well. This is a very, very good one. I did a huge unboxing on this when I first received it. So if you want to see all the cool miniatures and everything that's inside the Works edition of this game, you can go ahead and find that video on my channel. But this is not going anywhere. As a lifelong Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan who has a son named Raphael, for those of you who did not know, this is staying in my collection for the foreseeable future. But yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Last box in this, or last game in this box. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, and we'll move on to the next one. See you later.